Your quiz tomorrow is covering 1.7 to 1.10. It is actually the bulk of your test too, because 1.11 only has like one or two little new things, but it also continues with a lot of this stuff. So we're going to count this as both the review for your quiz and for your test. Yeah.
Is the test also just 111 and that's it?
No, it's 1.7 to 1.11.
Yeah, but like.
In addition to this, yeah.
Oh.
Which really is like more of this, and then the binomial expansion theorem, that's Fridays, right? Thursday's problem. Thursdays. All right, so we're going to just quickly go through and fill this out, okay? This will be your guide. One, I would say this is your guide for the quiz, but this is also like if you're keeping which I would recommend, like a little bit of either a folder itself or some sort of organizational thing to keep your review for the end of the year when we're reviewing for your actual test. I would say this is one of those things that would be good to put in it, because obviously these things are going to be on your test. We're not going to talk about them a bunch from now until May, and yet you will need to know all this stuff. So the asymptotes, if I want to find my vertical asymptotes, how do I find those? Denominator equal to 0, okay? If I have to factor, I have to factor. How about your horizontal asymptotes? Good, so so it would be x to the n over x to the m, and if n is bigger than m, what's your horizontal asymptote?
Sorry, what did you say?
If n is bigger than m, there's none. If the exponent in the top is bigger than the exponent in the bottom, there's no horizontal asymptote. If they're equal, the leading coefficient, y equals the leading coefficient of the numerator over the leading coefficient of the denominator. And if n is less than m, y equals 0. How do you know there's slant asymptotes? N is 1 and only 1 more than m. And how do you find slant? Divide. So you can either do long division or synthetic depending on what's in the bottom. Divide, ignore remainder. And your answer would be in y equals mx plus b form, because it will be a line. Good so far? Okay. How do I find domain?
Check for restrictions.
How do you do that?
On the denominator.
Good. Set denominator. Demon. That's what I meant to write. Denominator not equal to 0. And that comes before any canceling out of wholes, right? So this is the very first thing I would do, is factor, then find domain. Then by order, I would then go to wholes before I do anything else, okay? If I wanted to find the zeros, how do I do that? Good. Numerator equal to 0. And again, that's after you factor it, solve it. And wholes happen when? If cancel out a term in denominator.
And when we say cancel out, it's only for like the variable.
Yeah, so like let's say it says x plus 2 over x minus 2, x plus 2. These cancel out. You're not talking about like a coefficient, right? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay. So this would have a whole, and the x value of the whole would be -2. And then to find the y value of the whole, you have to do what?
Plug it into the new one.
Good. Plug into new, which in this case would be 1 over -2 minus -2, so it would be -1/4. So if you cancel out and there is a whole, remember the only thing that comes from the original is the x coordinate of your whole and the domain. Everything after that comes from your updated function. Valeska.
You can tell if it's a whole or an asymptote because that whole cancels out, right? And the asymptote doesn't cancel out.
Correct. Yeah. Claire.
So the whole in the domain is from the original function, and 0 is vertical asymptote whatever, that's from the new function?
And just the x-coordinate of the whole. So from the original is domain and the x-coordinate from the whole. Everything else is from the updated one. I think, Carmen, did you have your hand up or are you stretching again? Okay, yeah.
So when you simplify, whatever cancels out, you set equal to 0, and then you move it over, and like it becomes the -2.
So you're talking about to find the x-coordinate of your whole?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, whatever you cancel out, you would solve that expression. And then that's the x-coordinate of your whole.
Okay.
Yep, Daniela.
Are we gonna get like a chart without the function?
Not on quiz, but yes, on test.
So on those, how would you know the difference between a whole and an asymptote?
You have to look at, see, are they both approaching the y-coordinate of the whole, or are they approaching positive or negative infinity?
And if it's positive or negative infinity, it's an asymptote?
Correct. And if it's the actual y-coordinate, it's a whole. But that is, it's not on the quiz. It will come back on the test. Questions?
You said from the original equation, it's the x-coordinate and the domain?
Say that again.
From the original equation, when there's a whole, the x-coordinate and the domain?
The x-coordinate of the whole and the domain. Correct. All right, then we talked about limit notation. We did it in 3 different ways. We did it in the very beginning. First section was 1-7. We did it using end behavior. So if we're looking for, it'll say use limit notation to describe the end behavior of the function, then you're basing this on your horizontal asymptote. If there is a horizontal asymptote, then the limit is the horizontal asymptote. So if I had a function and my horizontal asymptote was y equals 1, then the limit of my graph as it approaches negative infinity is 1, and the limit of the graph as it approaches positive infinity is also 1. Whatever the horizontal asymptote is. If the horizontal asymptote is 0, it's 0, 1, it's 1, 15, it's 15, whatever it is. If there is no vertical asymptote, then to find left end behavior, we plug in negative infinity, and to find right, we plug in positive infinity after reducing leading term. I'll show you what that means in a second. It's been like a week since we've done that one. Okay. Somebody's dying on the other side of the wall. Nothing to be alarmed. All right, so if you had f of x equals, let's say I have 2x to the third over x plus 4. Okay, we'll keep it really simple for now. If it says, well, there would not be a horizontal asymptote, right? Because the exponent in the top is bigger than the one in the bottom. So then if I want to know the end behavior as x approaches negative infinity, then I literally take just my leading coefficients in the top and the bottom, or leading terms in the top and the bottom. There's only one in the top and the one in the bottom. I put them over each other. I simplify what I can, so one of these x cancels, and I end up with 2x squared. And then to find the left-hand behavior, I plug in negative infinity into that, and the right-hand behavior, I plug in positive infinity. So if I were to plug in negative infinity and then I square it, what happens? It becomes positive infinity, and if I double it, it becomes still positive infinity. So the limit here is still positive infinity. Claire?
Why did the 4 go away?
You only want the leading terms when you reduce it. And then if I want to find the limit as it approaches positive infinity, I still take my reduced one, which is 2x squared, and this time I plug in positive infinity. What happens if I square positive infinity? It's still positive infinity. What if I double positive infinity? It's still positive infinity. So I think that one I gave you, limit x approaches negative. Now I'm confusing your quiz and your test. I'll look. I don't remember if I gave you that notation at all or not, to be honest. I'll look. There are some that are completely blank, because especially with the vertical asymptotes and the holes, I'm not gonna give you where the x is approaching, because that's part of the question. Whereas end behavior, it's always negative infinity and positive infinity there. All right, so if there's a vertical asymptote and it wants the limit behavior or limit notation of a vertical asymptote, then you're gonna do the limit as x approaches whatever the value of your vertical asymptote is from the left, and then you're gonna do the limit of the variable as it approaches that value from the right. So wherever your vertical asymptote is, that would be your a value. And then you would literally need to see what happens at that point. So let's just say in this case, a is 2. You would have an equation. You would determine your vertical asymptote is at 2. And then I would plug in a value to the left of 2. You could even plug in 0 if you wanted to over there, or plug in 1 and see what your value is. As you're getting closer here, it's either going to go up or it's either going to go down. So it'll either be a large number or it will be a small, very small number, okay? And as it approaches from the right, you're going to do the same thing. Is it going up or is it going down? And from there, you would describe the limit approaching either positive or negative infinity or positive negative infinity. Yeah.
Are we gonna need to know, like, if there's a slant asymptote and a vertical asymptote, like, are we gonna need to figure out where those two graphs go in the corners?
No, not yet. Yeah, you're not gonna actually have to graph this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bella.
So it's gonna give us two arrows, like
So it will literally say, like, this is your function, whatever your numerator is over x. This would have been x minus 2. Let's just say it's 1 over x minus 2. And then you would want to know what's happening as you approach 2. So you would plug in less than 2, like perhaps 1. 1 over 1 minus 2 is negative 1/2. So I know that that's going down. Does that make sense? Whereas if it's bigger than 1, it would be going up. So you would know if it's getting negative or if it's going positive based on the direction of those values. Yep.
Would we have a calculator for this part or no?
If you don't, you're not going to use a calculator at all for your quiz. So it would, the quiz is tomorrow, yeah. It would be basic numbers, yeah. Okay, and then for the test, you'll have parts. Yep, you're going to get that. Remember, I said you're not going to fill in a chart this time, right? That's for the test. Test is next week,
What day?
Thursday, because we're going to do one. We're going to do, yeah.
so we're not gonna have to fill in charts, and we're not gonna.
Wait, that's a lie. When's? Yeah, no, that is next week. Sorry.
So we won't have to fill in any charts. Do we have to hand draw graphs on the quiz?
No. All right, then your whole. Okay, the whole, you need the x coordinate of your whole and the y coordinate of your whole. Okay, so whatever you get as your whole, again, you would get an equation. I don't know, like, well, let's do the same one. God bless you. Let's say after I factored it, I canceled out my x plus 2's. That means that the x coordinate of my whole is at negative 2. So my limit is going to be specific to that as x approaches negative 2 from the left and as x approaches negative 2 from the right. And both of these limits are the y coordinate of your whole. So you literally just have to take this and plug it back in. 1 over negative 2 minus 2 was 1 over negative 4 or negative 1/4. So the limit with your whole is the same. Just like the limit of the end behavior of your horizontal, one with a horizontal asymptote would be the same. Valeska.
Why do we do negative and positive for holes? I mean, like.
Because you're saying it's coming in from the right and it's coming in from the left. What's it approaching? On both sides for a whole, it would be approaching the same number, which is why you can tell it from a chart. So if you had a chart and they were both approaching undefined, some value that's undefined, if they're both approaching the same number, so if as it's getting bigger, it's going closer to, like, I don't know, 7, it's 6.999, and then the other side, it's 7.001, you'd know the y coordinate of your whole would be 7. If it's an asymptote, then one side is going to be going, I mean, they could go positive infinity or negative infinity, but they're not going to be both approaching the same number. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
that's how you can tell.
That's how you can tell if it's a hole or a vertical asymptote, which again, you'll have to do for your test, but not for your quiz.
Okay, thank you.
Bella.
I'm a little confused. For the vertical asymptote from the red arrows, if I pick from the left, wouldn't it be positive and negative infinity?
No, it's one or the other. I drew both, but it's one or the other.
Oh, like.
Yeah. It would either, I was saying it could be either. So like you would have your function. So let's say we have a function with a vertical asymptote. So at least 1 over, let's make this really easy, x plus 3, okay? So my vertical asymptote is where? X equals -3. So I need to know what's happening as I approach -3 from the left, and I need to know what's happening as I approach -3 from the right. So from the left, and then from the right, the left, I'm going to plug in at least 2 values to see as if it's getting bigger, if it's getting smaller. So less than -3. Without a calculator, I would plug in whole numbers, make it easier. If it was, if I had a calculator, I would plug in like literally -3.001, -3.1 like that, so you can see what's happening right there. But without a calculator, you don't have that opportunity. So I'm going to plug in something left of -3, like -4, and then something left of that, like -5. So at -5, I get 1 over -2, and at -4, I get 1 over -1, which is -1. What's happening to the numbers as they're going from -1/2 to -1? They're getting smaller, which means?
Isn't -1 greater than
Nope, other way around. Remember, the bigger the negative, the smaller it is. Yeah, so this is actually approaching -infinity, which means that limit side would go to -infinity. If I come from the right, I want to plug in values that are bigger than -3. So -2, -1, I would get 1 over -2 plus 3, and 1 over -1 plus 3, 1 over 1, which is 1, and 1 over 2, which is 1/2. So as I'm getting closer to -3, what's happening to those numbers? What's happening from 1/2 to 1? Getting bigger. So that side of my limit would be positive infinity.
So both sides would be.
No, the left side's negative. It's getting smaller. The right side's positive. This was getting smaller. This was getting bigger.
Okay. So it'll always be like.
They could both go up. They could both go down depending on the behavior.
So you just gotta put in all this.
Yep. You got to plug in 2 values from either side. Questions? Yeah.
For holes. Our x is gonna be under the limb, and then our y is always whatever this is.
Correct. Yep.